My name is Ben Hedrington. I work for Best Buy in the web development space. I build lots of different applications, and a lot of times I like to prototype things and get ideas out there visually. So what I've done is I've built a few applications on App Engine that help visualize social media for Best Buy and for others, allowing you to see the different trends or the people that are talking about you, as well as I built another application that takes a lot of the voices of Best Buy associates and brings them together on Twitter. Those two apps are called Spy and Connect Tweet. For me, App Engine is just about speed to market, getting things out there, trying things, testing things, succeeding or failing. So that's what I do. Use App Engine to get out there really fast, try something, and see where it ends up.
So you mentioned that App Engine, you chose App Engine. Were there any specific aspects of App Engine that affected that decision?
Yeah. As far as what affected my decision to use App Engine, it was the instantaneousness of App Engine. That I didn't need to go get a server. I know how to provision a server. I know how to build a server. That's not needed anymore, right? It's not. The creativity part of it is what I wanted to get out there. I wanted to build something that you could see. So having to spin up a server, install software, manage software, make sure that everything was staying up and staying well positioned. It didn't make sense for what I was doing. And the things I learned about App Engine once I started using it was it kind of lended me towards building in a scalable manner. I had to learn Python at the time, which was fine. I love Python now. And because of the way App Engine is created, you have to follow some design patterns that lend towards scalability. And I think that's helped going forward as the app's been picked up more and more, that I didn't have to go rebuild things or redo things. It kind of just lives on its own out there, open for use.
Do you have any kind of interesting war story about developing on App Engine?
I don't think I have any interesting war stories, but I think any developer who does kind of prototyping and quicker stuff always dreads when they need to show that to somebody. Another, for instance, the one app I have called Spy, it actually runs in a lot of the C-level executives' offices of Best Buy. They full screen it on a monitor, and it just kind of ticks through the different social things being said about Best Buy. And that's one of those things that's like, it's something I built quick, and it really wouldn't hurt my credibility too much if it stopped working, but it would make me feel bad as a developer, right? That I've got something sitting in an executive's office that's not working. And I think App Engine has satisfied a lot of that to me. The infrastructure is always up. As long as my code's relatively solid, it's just going to keep running and ticking. I mean, the interesting thing about the app is it's a real-time app, so it's constantly updating. It'll sit and run on that computer in their office for months at a time. And I think that's nice. It lets you sit back a little bit and not be worried you got to sneak in their office and refresh the machine if it breaks or anything like that. So that would be one for me. Just that confidence factor when you're going to go demo something that you threw together relatively quickly, that it'll still be there, still running, and still working.
Okay, so it has kind of affected the way you think about production.
It does. A lot of what I think that we do, and some of the other folks that you guys will talk to from Best Buy, we try to just bring new concepts and visualize them to people. So yes, you can release hourly, you can release daily if you need to. It's there, and the way the web is moving, it's much faster and more iterative. So getting comfortable with that, with smaller type activities is good. So that's somewhere that I'm already at, but I think doing these type of things helps others see that. That there is a need sometimes for month-long, year-long development processes, but there's also things, especially in the web space, where you can move much faster, deploy to production, and really get out there.
So do you have like a future wish list for App Engine?
Yeah, some of the stuff that they're already talking about. A future wish list for me would be, the background processing. One of my apps that I haven't talked about yet, called Retweet Radar, pulls a lot of things from Twitter and kind of extracts different concepts from them. So what it does is it needs to go do that quite often, and since there's no background processing today, I have to kind of force that to happen. So that's a big one for me. Otherwise, I'm generally pretty happy. I would have said when I started, oh, it'll be nice when you guys roll out new languages, but really, for what I've learned of Python and what I like about Python, I'm probably going to stick with it. I didn't go jump on the Java bandwagon. I've done it in the past, and maybe I will someday. But I was actually, I think I talked about this a lot when I started using App Engine. I was happy about the constraints of App Engine. They made me think harder about what I was trying to do and how I went about doing that, and I appreciate that. And you can tell there's some engineering behind that. So that's about all.
Well, thanks a lot for coming in and talking to us.
All right.